All right, so a little update on the building. Aside from the garage doors and the floor, it is done. They actually finished it up late last week. We'll go ahead and get inside the building here, get us out of the wind. You can see that we've got, snow drifts on the ground again, and the ground is mostly frozen. So a couple things in here. The snow caught us kind of by surprise, so I've actually got some stuff that I did have outside, inside. So this is the interior of the building. I can't remember if the trusses were up the last time I showed it, but they should actually put the doors in this week. I was hoping to delay the doors a little bit to get the floor in here. So a couple things with the floor. Really good suggestions from a lot of people on the floor, both in the comments on the video and also through some emails. So somebody, I think Jeffrey Allen maybe, suggested putting a drain in the floor. I completely agree that a drain would be very beneficial in, I would say, most cases. But we have to remember what this building was designed for. This building was designed for storage and only storage. It was never designed to be heated. It was never really even designed to be insulated. If you look up at the roof, there's just, we could spray foam it, but then we've got the translucent panels around the edge that I suppose we could spray foam over it if we want, or we could do some type of insulation. But it just, I don't think it's going to get that much use in the winter. And this coming from a person that does not have, the house garage does not have a drain in it, and it is extremely frustrating in the winter, all that water and everything in there. I don't see it being a huge problem with this building. And a drain, I think, would be fairly complicated and fairly expensive based on my conversations with the concrete contractors. It would probably need to be in the middle of a floor drain. And eventually, because this is a storage building, those drains would need to be iron grates. They would not need to be plastic, because I do hope to eventually own a forklift for this building and use a forklift to get up high and pick stuff off of shelves and stuff. So, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. I certainly understand it. We have more or less made the decision, moving on to concrete, we have more or less made the decision to go to 5-inch concrete, mostly just because there's a marginal change in cost from the 4,000 PSI 4-inch concrete, 24-inch on center rebar, to the 5-inch. I think it's an additional like $1,600, something like that, to go for 5-inch. The only thing that concerns me with the pour of the side or the concrete is this right here. There's actually 9 inches of elevation difference between the existing slab and the new slab. So there will have to be some type of, there will be a slope there. We knew there was going to be a slope, but I don't exactly know how. That slope will be pretty substantial. I don't think it'll prevent much use of the building, because ultimately, like I said, this is a storage building. I'm not too concerned about something along, a 9-inch slope over. There's approximately 30 inches there. So yeah, it's a pretty big hill to climb, but and actually we can probably extend it in. This is one of the reasons I wanted to lay the garage doors. If we extend it in a little bit, it might be a little bit better. Other questions we had: why did we put the building up before we put the slab up? Basically just how I opted to do it. Because I went with a big company, a big building company like Cleary, to build the building, and they are not the subcontractor for the floor. Basically, they're not responsible for the floor. So they literally washed their hands of it. They set the elevation and for the building and then call it good. In fact, the guy that did the dirt work was recommended by the Cleary rep. And then when I asked the Cleary rep about concrete, basically he said I was on my own. So it is what it is. I was hoping to get a little bit more cooperation than that on the concrete. But, you know, oh well. But other than that, I mean, I'm really happy with how fast it went up. Construction, I mean, it was pretty easy. There's no problems there. And I think it will be a very, very useful building for us in the future. The doors will certainly will be large enough to fit just about anything that I plan to purchase in the next, say, 10 years in here. On the opposite end down here, I think I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but I am working towards, there's going to be an apron on this end. It's actually going to be 16 feet wide, so 1 foot on either side of the door. The doors are 14 feet wide, and it'll be 16 feet out in the yard. And we will go ahead and work on, I would go out there, but the wind's going to catch the camera. And eventually we'll tie it into the driveway we'll tie it into that driveway over there. Eventually we do want to concrete most of the driveway. But that's, you know, a long-term plan. So next step, I'm hoping to meet with the concrete guy sometime this week. I got a couple bids and decided on a contractor. But other than that, I think the building is close to being ready to store stuff. I mean, obviously it's already storing stuff. So pretty excited about it. Then I can start emptying out the shop and storing everything out here for the summer. Gives me some room to work on some of those projects that I've been sitting on for a long, long time. That I just don't have projects. I just don't have room in the winter to do them. And in the summer, between mowing the yard and everything else that I have to do, it's extremely difficult to find time to do it. So hopefully this answers some of those questions. Like I said, keep the questions coming, because they're probably some of the questions that we battled with quite extensively when we were planning this building. One of the previous updates, I basically said my original plan was heated floor and everything else. And, you know, this is a storage building. That's all I ever intend it to be. It will be strictly a covered area that I can put stuff that, you know, will have pallet racking in it somewhere. You know, eventually, maybe if I come home from an auction or something like that, I can pull the truck just straight through. Being 63 feet long, I think I'm pretty good with any of my future trailers and trucks and stuff like that. So, and even maybe cheat over to one side and I can unload it in the nice, you know, non-windy area. But anyway, I think that's it for this video. I've yammered for 7 minutes over nothing. And if you have questions, comments, leave them below. Like I said, keep them coming. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can describe exactly the process we went through when we're building it, because everywhere is different and everybody has a different situation. Thanks for watching.